Hi, welcome to your Astro Forecast for the week of October 7th. I'm Sarah Nicole. This is Twisted Goddess Tarot, and my mission is to help you navigate the cosmic energies with greater awareness. If you're watching right now, you are probably watching the replay. If that's the case, leave a comment so that I can come back and say hi to you. If you're new here, we do this every Monday where I chat about what is happening in the skies to bring light to how this week's astrology may affect you. Of course, this is going to be at a collective level. How these astrological events affect you personally is going to depend on how it's interacting with your personal birth chart, and that is what we have transit readings for. All right, so let's dive right in. We have a lot to talk about this week, but I'm in a little bit of a hurry because I am going to be co-facilitating the Sunset Sister Circle with Leah Pegram this evening for her Sacred Circle. So if you're in the Grand Strand area, be sure to check out. I shared about that, I believe, yesterday. So check out that post. Also, one other quick update before we get into this week's astrology. It is Monday, October 7th. This year's shadow work virtual immersion, 3 weeks of guided shadow work. It's my 4th annual that I'm hosting. We do something different every single year. So whether you joined last year, you can join this year because it's going to be a completely different immersion, introducing different ways to do shadow work, because what works for one doesn't always work for all, right? So that is going to begin this Wednesday, October 9th. So which is perfect because that's the day that Jupiter stations retrograde, which is a time that we start to think about, we are guided to start to think about our internal growth rather than our external growth, which that is what shadow work is all about. So it begins Wednesday, October 9th, which means that enrollment ends tomorrow for the shadow work. So check out the link in my bio. I've posted a ton about it. There's links there. You can find it all over. But so yeah, tomorrow at midnight, the enrollment is going to close for the shadow work virtual immersion. So if you were thinking about joining that, you definitely want to do that today or tomorrow because those are going to be your only options. Okay, so let's start chatting about this astrology for the week. Starting off Wednesday, October 9th, we have Jupiter stationing retrograde, where it will stay retrograde until February 4th, 2025. So Jupiter is a very large planet. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, which is why it is the planet of growth, right? Because it amplifies whatever it touches. And then Jupiter is also further away from us. So it moves very slowly, and its effects are felt less strongly than, say, Mercury or Venus or Mars, our personal planets, right? So this is going to be a more subtle retrograde, right? Not quite as subtle as Pluto, because so the further away a planet is, the more subtle its retrograde is, and the longer its retrograde is. So this is going to be taking us until February, right? So Jupiter retrograde is a time to reclaim your confidence. It's a time to reconsider what you can realistically do, right? It's a time to reconnect with your true path. It's a time to reevaluate the opportunities in your life for growth. It's a time to really focus on self-improvement and on inner growth, because when a planet is retrograde, it takes that energy that it's usually pushing out, and it takes that energy and it focuses it inward. So since Jupiter is the planet of growth and abundance, rather than focusing its energy on external growth and abundance at this time, it's focusing its energy on internal growth and abundance at this time. It's really a reminder that we need to do the inner work to achieve our dreams. So it's a time to realign to yourself, to realign to your goals, to realign to what it is that you would like to manifest. Now, if you want to take it one step further, you can look to see what house Gemini is in in your chart, especially if you have any planets or placements around 11 degrees Gemini to 21 degrees Gemini, because that is the area that Jupiter retrograde is going to be happening in. And if you would like to take it one step further, look at your chart in that area and kind of see what's going on there. See what house is Jupiter ruling. Maybe we need to do some internal growth in that area, right? If it was in your second house, that would be some internal work around maybe your money mindset. If it was happening in your fourth house, it would be some internal work around your ancestral lineage or mother wound, things of that nature, your safety. So just an example, I'll definitely post again on Wednesday, on the day that Jupiter stations retrograde, with some more information for each of the rising signs, like I usually do. And then on Thursday, October 10th, we have a first quarter moon at 17 degrees Capricorn. So the first quarter moon occurs when the sun creates a challenging square aspect to the waxing moon, while the energy of the moon is building, right? So this square aspect in astrology really creates some tension. It pushes you to action, which makes the theme of the first quarter moon focus, momentum, facing your fears. It's all about taking action towards the intentions that you set at the new moon. Okay, so that's what the first quarter moon is here for. It's here to create a little bit of tension, to say, hey, you've got to take that aligned action towards your goals if you want that intention that you set at the new moon to come to fruition, right? So take some actions towards your intention, think back, take some real world practical actions, especially with it happening in Capricorn. Capricorn is about the footwork, right? It's about the chopping wood and carrying water. And then on Friday, October 11th, we have Pluto stationing direct. Now, like I said, Pluto is very far away from us, so its effects are very subtle. It's something that we're not going to feel this massive energy like we do with Mercury when Mercury stations direct. It's like we can feel the clarity return, right? But that's because Mercury is so close to us, we feel its effects more strongly. Pluto is a more subtle. It takes a longer period of time for us to kind of start feeling those effects, right? So we started off the astrological year in March with Pluto in Aquarius, right? But last year and this year, we've been doing this dance where Pluto has been going right back and forth from 0 degrees Aquarius, 1 degree Aquarius, back to 29 degree Capricorn. It's kind of been doing this dance back and forward with its retrograde. So we've had this year of limbo where we're finishing off Pluto in Capricorn, and we are kind of getting a taste of what Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring. And last year when we had that taste of Pluto in Aquarius, we really got an AI boom, right? And Aquarius is about innovation and technology, and so it makes sense that Pluto would come in and give us this big AI boom. Think back to when Pluto entered into Capricorn for the first time, which was 2008, we had, and Capricorn is our government and our economy and things like that on a larger scale. And we had a pretty big recession in 2008, right? So whenever Pluto first is kind of dancing in between these signs where Pluto is all about transformation. It's Kali energy. It comes in and brings destruction in order to rebuild. And so anytime we have Pluto kind of dancing between two signs where it's about to leave one sign and about to merge into the next sign, we do have a period of kind of a crumbling before a rebuilding. So it's no surprise to me that the last couple years have been tough. Just like going back to 2008 was, right? So we started off the astrological year with Pluto in Aquarius, but this retrograde took Pluto back into Capricorn on September 1st to finish the lessons in that sign. okay, before moving into Aquarius to stay on November 19th, 2024. So while Pluto returned to Capricorn for the final time of our lives, it really signaled the last couple months of cleanup for this area of our life forever, right? So it's really important to look at your birth chart and look at the Capricorn area of your birth chart. We all have Capricorn in our birth chart. Whether you have a planet there or not, it is there somewhere, right? It's going to be ruling over a house. Even if you don't have any placements in Capricorn, it's going to be ruling over a house. I always sometimes get people to say, well, I don't have Capricorn or I don't have Aries. You do. If you look at your circle chart, it's there. If you're looking at like CoStar, the table, it might not be there because you might not have a placement. That is not your birth chart, right? Your birth chart is the circle chart. So it's going to be really important for you to look at that Capricorn area of your birth chart. What house does it rule? Do I have any placements there? Because if there's anything that you've been avoiding in the Capricorn area of your chart, we can really expect it to be loud and clear during this last bit of the year, right? During this last bit of the year. Now is the time to really address any lingering concerns in that area for you. Release the work that's been centered there since 2008, 2009. Okay, and do some reflection, reflect back on how that area of your life has transformed, right? It's going to depend each person, it's going to depend what your chart looks like, right? If Capricorn is in your 10th house, then it would be your transformation of your career, of your public reputation, right? If it's in your 11th house, it would be the transformation of your social circles and friends over that time. If it's in your 7th house, it would be your relationship. So it's really going to depend on your personal birth chart. Again, these astro forecasts are collective level. How it's personally going to affect you is going to be dependent on your personal birth chart, and that's why we do transit readings for that purpose, right? So the lesson of Pluto and Capricorn for all of us has been, what is true power? Right? So we're looking at the power dynamic here. Pluto is very much about our personal power. And when Pluto is in Capricorn, naturally we've kind of given our power to Capricorn systems. So Capricorn systems are government, corporations, money, economy, things like that. So what is true power? We're really looking at this power dynamic here. What is your true motivation for life? And it's about, since Pluto is going to be moving through and kind of doing this final destruction and transformation of this Capricorn area, it's going to be really about realizing that we have to take responsibility for the changes that we want to see in our life. We can't just give that to someone else who we assume has more power than us and expect it to go over well, right? That's really been the learning experience of Pluto and Capricorn. So we have about 1 month remaining of Pluto moving direct, destructing and transforming anything that is no longer serving us in the area of our life ruled by Capricorn. And then of course Pluto will be moving into Aquarius to stay in November, and at that time we have an opportunity to choose, right? Aquarius is a very multifaceted energy, and so on one side we have the community side of Aquarius, humanitarian side of Aquarius, right? Where we can choose Pluto, personal power, power to the people, power to community, right? And we're seeing some of that start to grow, where people are starting to become more interested in multi-generational living. People are becoming more interested in kind of like commune type of living, right? We're seeing that. But then on the other side of it, Aquarius is also very much innovation and technology. Think AI. And so we also have the choice of power to AI. So we really have a choice. And this cleanup that we're doing in the Capricorn area of our life is going to determine that choice. Do we want it to be power to the people, or do we want it to be power to AI and computers, right? We really do have that choice. And I know that AI is here. We can't get rid of it, but we can certainly choose where we're going to put our power and where we're going to put our energy. So that's not this week, but that's just something I've been repeating over the last year since Pluto has been doing this dance into Aquarius. On Saturday, October 12th, we have Jupiter retrograde at 21 degrees Gemini, creating a sextile, which is a very harmonious aspect to Chiron retrograde at 21 degrees Aries. So Jupiter is growth. Jupiter is abundance. When Jupiter is retrograde, it's about our internal growth, right? We've already talked about that earlier in this forecast. A sextile creates a harmonious energy. It creates opportunities, right? So, and then Chiron is the wounded healer. So it's all about our wounds and how we can begin to heal those wounds in order to unlock healing gifts. And so especially Chiron retrograde, it's a time where we're kind of going back and reopening old wounds that we thought we had already healed, right? And reopening them to get deeper into our healing. So this is really this energy on Saturday, which we're going to feel it leading up to. It's not just going to be on Saturday. It's just exact on Saturday. It's really creating an opportunity for your wounds to bring you growth, right? That's what that is. And so again, shadow work virtual immersion, my 4th annual 3-week shadow work course. You are welcome to enroll in that. Link is in the bio. And we begin Wednesday, October 9th. So in just a couple days, enrollment ends tomorrow, Tuesday, October 8th at midnight. So if you would like to really grab on to this opportunity, this astrological opportunity, and the opportunity that I'm offering for you to create an opportunity for your wounds to bring you growth through this healing opportunity, be sure to grab on to that. Last but not least, this week we have Mercury on Sunday, October 13th. We have Mercury moving into Scorpio, where it's going to transit through until November 2nd. So Mercury is the planet of the mind. It rules over our thoughts, our communication, our perception, and Scorpio is the depth, right? Scorpio is the water sign, but Scorpio is an interesting water sign, right? So where Cancer, you may think of Cancer being a water sign. You may think of Cancer as like the ocean, right? Scorpio to me is like an iceberg, right? It is an iceberg. In the sense of the tip of the iceberg is so much smaller than what's actually happening underneath. And that's Scorpio, right? What we're seeing of Scorpio is just the tip of the iceberg. Everything underneath, this huge iceberg underneath that we can't see, is the depths, is really what Scorpio is about, right? So Scorpio is all about the watery depths. It's all about penetrating, penetrating through illusions and really finding out the truth. Scorpio is the detective of the zodiac for sure. They're going to get down to it and find out what's really happening, right? So with Mercury in Scorpio, it's really the messenger being in the underworld, right? Scorpio is considered the underworld. It is ruled by Pluto. And so this is really a time where our minds can want to go deep, right? Our minds can want to go deep. We want to have deep thoughts. We want to have deep connections. We want to have deep conversations. We don't want any of this shallow, small talk, right? We're wanting to go deep, which is important, especially for our growth, especially for our healing, right? But it can also, no placement is good, no placement is bad. Every single astrological placement has its benefits. Oh, thank you, Stina. I do not have it on the website yet, but I'm hoping to get it up there soon. So no astrological placement is all good or all bad, right? Every single astrological placement has its benefits and has its challenges, right? So we talked a little bit about the benefits of Mercury and Scorpio. We're wanting to go deep. We're really wanting to get down to the truth of things. But some of the challenges can be Mercury and Scorpio can leave us a little bit obsessive. It can lead us to kind of dig until we find something. You know how that works, where it's like, if you look for something hard enough, you're going to find it. If you look for a reason to not trust somebody hard enough, you're going to find it. If you look for, if you look for somebody lying to you long enough, you're going to find it. And so there is that energy there. So we do want to be careful about that. That is our Astro Forecast for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. If you missed the beginning, you can always come back. I will have this available as the replay. So you can come back and rewatch what you missed, or remind yourself of what is happening all throughout the week. Come back all throughout the week. All right, that's it. See you later. Don't forget to sign up for that shadow work immersion. I'll put the link for that, the direct link for that, in the comments if you're on Facebook, after I finish this live.